Broadcasting live from Houston, Texas, and around the world. TV host, best-selling author, and radio personality Brad Gilmore brings you a collection of conversations with stars from movies.
Matthew McConaughey.
Brad Gilmore.
Mark Wahlberg.
Hey, how are you?
The one and only Sydney Sweeney joins us. Sydney, how are you?
I'm good, thank you. How are you?
Tom Hanks and Robin Wright in my favorite movie of the year. Guys, thanks so much for joining the show.
Oh, thank you.
Well, thank you. Jessica Alba and Lizzie Mathis. Ladies, thank you so much for joining me.
Thank you.
Kevin Costner joins us. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Television.
Jimmy Fallon joins us this morning. Jimmy, how you doing, my friend?
Good morning. Thank you so much, Brad, for having me. I appreciate this, bud.
One of my all-time favorites, Vince Vaughn, joins us right now. Vince, thanks, man.
Oh, great to be with you, Brad, and great to be talking to Houston. Good morning to you.
We got Owen Wilson. We got Judy Greer. Thanks for joining the show, guys.
Thank you.
Jay Leno joins us. Jay, how you doing?
Hey, Brad, what's going on?
We got Anna Sawai joining the show. Anna, thanks so much for joining us.
Thank you, Brad.
Music.
Lola Monroe.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
The legendary frontman of AC/DC, Brian Johnson, joins us right now. Brian, how you doing?
Good morning, Brad. What looking to talk to me funny, lad.
Megan Trainor.
Thank you so much, Brad. You're awesome.
Paris Hilton, the infinite icon herself, is on the show. Paris, love the film.
Thank you. I'm so proud of it.
And more. This is The Collection. Now your host, The Boat.
Everybody, I'm so excited for my next guest joining me because I've been a fan of this film franchise for so long. I've seen the theatrical production on Broadway, and it's just that much more special that it's becoming to my hometown right here in Houston, Texas. Theater Under the Stars, starting on March the 31st, running through April 5th. It is Back to the Future, the musical, and the man playing one of the two big roles of this film, and he's going to be going crazy on stage because I've seen it on Broadway, and I know how much comes into tale with playing Doc Brown. He is David Josefsberg. David, how are you doing, sir?
I'm doing great. Thanks for having me.
Look, Back to the Future, the musical. Let's just start there. You're doing the tour right now. Roger Bart, who did such a great job with the initial run in Europe, and then obviously coming over to the stateside on Broadway, he was great. I'm sure that you had you have a conversation with Roger before you got onto this tour as playing Doc?
Oh, yeah. I mean, look, first I watched Christopher Lloyd, of course, and I learned the Great Scots and the road. Well, we're going, we don't need roads. So I got that from Christopher Lloyd, a lot of other stuff. But so I did in New York with Roger for about 9 months. I played Brooklyn, although I did have hair. And so I got to watch him do it all the time. And I went on for Doc about twice a week. But he was real great about, like, do this, even, like, down to, like, make sure you roll your sleeves here because when you're up on the clock tower, it's going to be blah, 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 like all the things. And he said, learn this first because this is going to be the hard stuff. He's really amazing.
When you are working on this show, obviously people like myself who have, committed every single word of Back to the Future to memory, the original film. And I think it's the greatest trilogy ever made. And I'll debate anybody on it. But when you're taking over this project and you're going to play Doc and you're playing Strickland before, how intimately did you know the film? I mean, I'm assuming that this was one that you saw a bunch, but I don't know if that's the case.
So you could, well, as one of the elders in the show, I would say, I'm 55, so I was literally probably one of two in the touring company that saw it in the movie theaters. So of course, you know what I mean? I'm 15 I was. That's like when you go see movies and
Sure.
when we didn't have our phones and do all, be able to like look at anything at any moment. We went to the movie theater. I probably went 5 or 6 times to the first one for sure. Maybe, and then hundreds of times on video, VHS after that. So yeah, I saw it when I was 15 and I was like, this is so incredibly cool. And I was already a singer. I thought I'm going to be Marty McFly one day, which is awesome. So I just had to wait 40 years instead and play Doc Brown.
Well, I think that was the thing about the original movie is when everybody watched it and when I did it for the first time and it wasn't in theaters, it was much later, but you wanted to be Marty McFly. He was the coolest guy in the world. There's a reason why that movie was #1 when it came out in '85 for the rest of the year, because I don't know if there was a cooler character in the '80s than Marty McFly.
No, I mean, and Michael P. Keaton getting to do that same character, from his TV show. Yeah. He was the king. But I mean, Christopher Lloyd too. Back then, I saw him in Taxi and saw all these other great things. So I thought, I mean, he's maybe not quite as cool as Marty.
Sure. Yeah.
But he's got his own awesome, like wacky, crazy doctor thing that he's got going on.
Well, yeah, Chris Lloyd again, Jim Ignatowski in Taxi, he was great. And the same year in '85, he played Professor Plum in Clue, the movie. I don't know if you're a Clue guy, but I love Clue as well. And which also has a great, theatrical production as well. But Chris Lloyd described this role as controlled chaos. He said Doc Brown was no, I'm sorry, I got that wrong. Constantly in crisis is how he described Doc Brown, and which is a really, when you think of it in that terms, you can see it in the performance. When you watch Chris Lloyd and you watch Roger, I know obviously you want to bring what's on the page and to the stage and bring it to life, but you also want to put, sometimes I'm sure, your own spin on certain things. Not every line reading is going to be the same actor to actor. So how would you describe your version of Doc?
Well, so I mean, as you know, the musical is a little bit different. Doc does get to be a little bit of a rock star in this one.
Yes.
Like he's got ladies who come around and sing with him and dance with him. He's singing and he gets to take the stage. So I really do respect my elders. So I did. Well, sorry, Roger. I mean, you're not much older than I am, but you are a little older. And so I really have taken a lot from them. But so as you know, Bob Gale, the creator of the whole franchise, is also the creator of this musical. Mm-hmm. And he's been around. And what's great about he and both John Rando, who's the director, is they really do let you bring who you are to these things. So I think I found some of the heart of Doc Brown as well, not in the controlled chaos, putting out fires is what I sort of say. Yeah. And literally, I do put out a fire in the show too. But I think that it's, in between those moments, that song, this one's you get to have, and it's about a guy who fails and fails and fails, and finally, with the help of his friend Marty, believing in him, he finally succeeds. So, I feel like I work, not work harder on that, but like it's bringing the heart to it is something that's sort of like my musical theater specialty in some of the roles that I played before. So I have that, but I don't mind the rock star stuff, and the putting out the fires too is the craziness as well.
Well, and I know you've worked on stage in a lot of shows before, but and I was talking a little bit before we started here. When I saw the Broadway production of this show, and I've seen a lot of Broadway and stuff that's come through Theater Under the Stars and the Hobby Center, and I've always been impressed by all the productions. But Back to the Future, the special effects of this show they're very next level, and there are several gasps from the audience in this show. Have you worked on something that had this level of special effects before?
Never like this. I did Beetlejuice, where they had some like fun like effects, but nothing like flying cars and like real fires and putting things and all those like extra little pieces where you just it's the crew. And bringing this around the country it's amazing what they can do to like put this together. They break down the show from the set. They take the set apart. They get it on trucks. They bring it to the next city. They don't sleep. They wake up the next day. They put the whole thing back together. And then we waltz in a little bit after our lattes and our flights. And we're like, we are ready now. So when they do these, it's like groundbreaking technology. And the way that they use. So I have two stories if you want me to let them out. So I have two kids. I have a 10-year-old and a 17-year-old. And when they came to see me play Doc in New York, my older one, who was I think like 18, 19 at the time, was like, and 19, he's a cool kid. His dad, who gives a crap what he does, but like, hey Dad, any chance I could bring my friends back on the weekend? Because who doesn't want to see a flying car while listening to your musicals? So that was one. And then number two, the way that they use the video and so there's a moment, from the movie when Marty's in his car going to fix the clock tower, trying to put the stuff together. So I won't give any spoilers. I won't tell you if we happen or not. But you get that moment combined with that, and then you get the interstitial music from the movie. And when I first saw it, the music just made me just start crying because it's so beautiful to watch, and it's like you're in the movie. So nothing ever like that where you get a combination of video and technology and just normal theater, us up on the stage. So this one's pretty special.
Yeah, there's scenes in the high school where it's like very elaborate. Sometimes if the set changes, or even the first appearance of the DeLorean is great. It's one of those moments where you're like, "Whoa, how did they do that? How did they pull that one off?" And I think that that's what fans who come and see it are really going to appreciate about this. And you mentioned though the touring of the show, and I could be way off here, but this has always been my analogy for touring actors, especially when you're part of a Broadway production, is y'all are almost like professional athletes in this sense, right? Is you're traveling town to town, you're getting in late, you're waking up early, you're not in your own bed, you're not sure what to eat around there. It's hard to stay in a routine, but for somehow, some way, you still, when it's showtime, Dr. Spotlight comes around, all your ailments go away, and it's showtime. It's game time, for lack of a better term. Have you gotten used to the touring aspect of being an actor?
That's really, that was the greatest thing. Like, I'm going to record that and I'm going to have play that in my head or play it out loud so people know, because it's in certain ways for me, I have 2 dogs, I have a family. So first of all, it's hard, but it's also easier. In New York, you go to Broadway, you do the show, you come home, and then you're still dad. Like, you got to go wake your kid up in the morning and make him sandwiches. On the road, you sometimes have time during the day, but most of that time is dealing with, because in each city the weather is different, so you might get sick somewhere, so you have to find things to eat. And in most places there's, for me, I truly really watch what I eat all day long, and then I can't really eat after the show because then I'm going to bed too early, so I don't want to get a reflux or anything. Although I could not go to Terry Black.
You have to go to Terry Black's.
And that's the thing, because you have to balance that, because and I was in Memphis and I wanted to go get barbecue there. And then you're on the Northeast and you want to get lobster rolls. So you have to really take care of that. But I'll tell you, we have a really good thing. We always have a gym that they let us get into. We always try to find either a massage or a float tank or something that does something really good for our bodies. It really is like an athlete.
It is.
I eat in the middle. After my last big number, my big song, I don't have another. I have to climb the clock tower and sing, but that's when I sort of eat my last meal. I bring it from home, I cook it. In the hotel, I have the Ninja Crispy or whatever, or I'm at a hotel and I could cook it in the oven, and I bring my food just for that moment to eat at that precise time, and then no more, except when you have a couple of bourbons. That's got to happen every once in a while too.
Well, but you have to know how to take care of your instrument, right? And how to be able to give the same, as close to a same performance night in and night out, twice on Saturday, twice on Sunday, right? That's a lot sometimes to ask for. And it's such a physical. I would love for you as Doc to wear a fitness tracker, so I would know your steps and your calories and what your heart rate is.
We all want to do that. We really want to do that so badly, but I don't want it to fall out on stage and be like, "What the hell is this in 1985?"
But you know what? If there was ever a character who could explain this piece of future technology, it would be Doc Brown.
I know what this is.
You mentioned Bob Gale. Obviously Robert Zemeckis, Alan Silvestri, who helped arrange the music as well for this particular project. You're already going into Back to the Future. You think, well, how are you going to make it a musical? But when you think about the original movie, Huey Lewis with Power of Love and Back in Time, these are great starting places if you're going to build a musical around it. These are some huge, huge records. And the songs of this show are very catchy, and they do the thing that I love in a musical. I love when a musical, because sometimes you think, oh, this would be a good part to put a song, maybe it's going to kill a little time or whatever. In this show, every song propels the story forward, and that's what makes an effective musical. And for them to adapt it in the way that they have is very brilliant.
Yeah. And then they get to do those, like you said, like Johnny Be Good and Earth Angel and all these iconic songs. So the balance between the new stuff and all the old, the ones that everyone's like, you better put every one of those, that better be in there. And it's really close. As you know, it's very similar to the movie. There's a couple of little things that are changed for the musical, but a lot of it is very similar.
But even the changes, and I don't know if you have talked to Bob Gale about it at all or stuff y'all have talked around the cast, even the changes for the musical, they're not like, I mean, I'm sure they're hardcore Back to the Future fans out there. Like, I was kind of like, wait, there are changes? But they work. Everything works. It makes sense for the story. You're not offended by it as a diehard fan. It makes sense. And you know that it's been graced by the great Bob Gale, the father of time. So it's
Yeah.
all good.
Yeah, and we get a lot of people who really, they're all dressed in their Doc gear and their Marty gear, and we've had some of those folks. I don't know if you know, they across the country there are places that have DeLoreans and some of the real movie props, and they've come in and they let us hold the device that got that car moving by the remote control, and I got to play with that. And they sign off on it too. I'm sure it's mostly because Bob Gale.
Well, I'll tell you too, here in Houston, right outside of Houston, Humble, Texas, is where the DeLorean Motor Company headquarters is.
Oh,
So
wow.
you might see some more DeLoreans coming down. You never know when you're here in Houston. When you talk about Doc again, you have the great Scots, you have the moments that you have to do, but really the heart of this story, you hit on it a second ago. What I love about Doc is he has a childlike wonder, right? He never fully accepts reality as it is. It's almost like he rejects your reality, he substitutes his own, and he lives in this childlike wonder. Is that kind of the heart of the character that you found, or what is your entry point for Doc?
Good question. Say what was the word that you just used?
He had like a childlike wonder.
Wonder. Yeah. I feel like it's that. It's also he sort of has like this, So on a side note, I teach breath work, so I'm all into like positive woo-woo kind of things. And though Doc isn't really that, he's really scientist and like wanting to figure out things, but I feel like in his mind, nothing's going to stop him, right? In a stoic kind of mind, like I may not succeed, but in the failure, there's learning. So I think we start with Doc in that capacity, and because we meet him when he's 70 in his 1985. Is he 70? Probably
70-ish, 65, 70, somewhere around there.
70, and then like he's been working on this his whole life, so he's failed so many times. So it's about like getting back up and finding a way to just keep going and succeed when there is a mad scramble and when there are fires to put out everywhere. But it's not bad, right? It's not a bad thing because you learn something with everything that you do.
Well, and what's great about Back to the Future is when you watch it at 15, in theaters, if you watch it now with your kids, as you were mentioning, you actually appreciate it from a different perspective, right?
Yeah.
It's a generational movie for a good reason because it has nostalgic moments. Yes, it has, the 80s and the skateboarding and the rock and roll. But there's something generational about it that at different levels of my life, I've appreciated it for different reasons. Do you find that that's maybe the part of this story that has made it last for 40, now going on 41 years as we enter 2026? Is that the entry point?
Totally. When I was a kid, I didn't know much about like self-belief or the power to rewrite the future, or that life begins with a single choice, which are some of like the talking points of what it really is. I was like, man, that's cool, and this and that. And now it really, especially like having a child too, like, and I mean, something that hit me more recently as my baseball playing son, who last year did his first show and decided that he wants to go to college for it now. And we've sang a song from the show, and the director was like, hey, he could be Marty someday. And so sometimes I see Marty as my son, and I love not like, you think that Doc is the one who's like leading everything and like making sure to take care of the kid, but Doc doesn't really succeed until his little buddy here, Marty, tells him, I believe in you. And then Doc finally does break through. So like seeing it from that side really is a big change for me.
Oh, wow. Yeah, that is it. You know what? The Doc Marty relationship, right? That was never like fully fleshed out in the film, right? Like we don't know why they're friends. Bob Gale later said, well, it's because Doc Brown had a big amp and Marty plays guitar. That's why they're friends, right? But it's one of the great friendships on screen and I guess on stage when you think about these big tentpole movies that really the heart of it is it's a very small story, right?
Yeah.
It's a very small story about these two guys and really about Marty and going to school with his parents, but their friendship is something very fascinating to me. Did you ever wonder what their origin story was? Was that something that in your prep work you wanted to know more about?
I mean, we play around and talk about it a little bit, but again, when you're a kid, you're like, well, that's odd. Or maybe not. Actually, when you're 15, you're like, yeah, I want to go over there and play with his amp. And then later on, you get in the middle, in like 20.
Yeah. Right.
Okay, that's weird. But then back to this now. We've had that conversation that Lucas and I about who, how, and why. And I'm like, should we build something even more? And no, we don't want to build anything. We're going to go with what the big Bob Gale said and be like, I have an amp. He came over. That's how we made our friendship. And then we took off from there.
For me, this movie was an entry point to so many things in my life. And sometimes I think Back to the Future and the Rocky series or how I've like made my life like viewpoints about, you can believe yourself, anything is possible. And also like, you know what, if you can make it to round 12, even if you don't win, you're still a winner, right? But for you, what was the film or stage play that you saw when you were younger that made you go, okay, yeah, this is what I'm trying to pursue now?
Oh, what film did that for me?
Yeah.
Other than this film? That's a good question. Well, so strangely, and I mean, not in like the heartfelt feeling, but like probably Grease, because I was like 7 or 8 years old, and I remember then, and I got to do that on Broadway. I put like the speaker out the window on my front yard, and I remember singing outside and like going through all the, all of that. Grease. What else?
Grease is a good one, though. Grease is a good one, and I understand. And you know what? What's great is if they were to do a production of Grease again, you could still play one of the high schoolers, as you saw in the movie, right? There's no age limit to what age you need to be in high school. I think they had a couple 40-year-olds in there.
True. And I did it on tour. I did it in New York, and I did it on tour with Adrian Zmed, who was playing Danny Zuko at 43. So
yeah, there you go, right? It can happen. Are you a Summer Lovin' guy? Is that your record from Grease, or what's the one that you like the most?
I mean, yeah, Summer Lovin' is the one. What's that other one that Danny sings to, like Alone in was it in the movie? The one that show you stranded at the drive-in? That one. That was.
Oh, okay, yeah. So Grease was kind of an entry point for you as far as wanting to get into acting, and then when did you feel like, oh, I've made this, I made it, like I did it?
So, well, I started in acting mostly when I was a kid after Grease, all that, and I was a singer, and I got a lot of attention, so I was like, okay, and I was not very good at baseball, so I had to put that aside. I went to college for it, and I got a show out of college during college, but that was not a big show. And then I was a waiter for a couple of years. I guess when I got Les Mis when I was 24, and I went out on the road with Les Mis for about a year and a half, and then immediately did Grease for a year and a half on the road. And I'm like, okay, I could figure out a way to like, it might not be all the time that I have jobs, but I feel like I can make this happen. And then, it's sort of, my career has sort of been, play some characters, then back in the ensemble, or cover people, or do this because I had kids and I wanted to like stay at home. I haven't toured in 25 to 30 years. This is the first time I've toured since 1997 or so. And now my second kid is about to go to college, so my wife and I are like, hey, maybe I met her doing Les Mis on the road, so this is like, she hasn't been in acting in about 30 years, and she's like, what if we just started traveling again? So who knows?
You don't know what could happen. Look, what's also great about when you do these shows, no two shows the same, right? There's small little changes. There's different timings. There's all kinds of little things that can vary show to show. But I would also think when you tour it, people aren't coming to see you. You're going to go see the people. Do you feel like a different energy in the cities? Yeah. Okay. Like, what do you notice? Do you notice, I mean, is there anything like you could actually kind of describe of what the differences are? Is it just like a different energy, or like maybe they laugh at a joke in New York that they don't laugh at in Memphis or what have you?
Yeah, so much more like Cincinnati, or like, well, first of all, I get to throw in a teeny little bit of something city-wise each place I go to, which is awesome. Like 2 little moments. I won't say it here in case people
sure.
catch it. But you definitely get a different, just one quick thing. I remember the stage manager told me, there's a line where I'm like, oh God, out of context, I can never remember the lines, but it's, oh my God. It's
You're a red light guy. When the red light's on, that's when you perform, right? I mean, yeah.
I cannot remember words unless it's like in the order of where it is. Hold on. He says, all right, let me just breathe for 1 second.
Breathe. Take it. Do some pranayama breathing. We're going to get through this. We're going to figure it out.
But anyways, now, once I said the time and date, I made the car go 88. And when that magic number's hit, you're going to see some serious shift in scientific thought. New York, you didn't have to say the for some reason, they want us to say it longer here because it gets a better laugh because I guess it's a different... These theaters are sometimes twice the size of New York, too. So you have to sort of like... make it a little bit bigger so that people can see it and hear it and feel it in a different capacity. So
yeah, that's interesting.
I would say there's different laughs for sure, and there's, I don't know, I feel like there's more openness on around the country, like to want to have fun. Like in New York, it might be a little more judging.
Well, I mean, that's the capital, right? Art. I mean, New York is the capital of Broadway in this art form. And you're right. The Winter Garden Theater is a little bit smaller than something like the Hobby Center or where you're going to be, and that's interesting. That's an element I didn't think about.
Yeah, and that's one of the big theaters on Broadway. Some of them are like 900 seats to like 1,500 is big, and then we've done some on the road that are 3,500.
Yeah. So you have to know how to just alter your game just a little bit or change this line delivery, hold it out, be a little bit bigger, make sure the back row sees you, and things of that nature.
I found the place I'm meant to be. I'm allowed to be bigger than that's what I like to do.
Well, when people come to see you and the rest of the cast on at Theater Under the Stars for Back to the Future the Musical, starting March the 31st, running through Easter Sunday, April the 5th. What do you want the conversation in the car to be? Because that's always my favorite thing. When I go to see a concert, I go to see a play, a musical, or a movie, I always love, as soon as I get in with whomever I go with, the conversation in the car. Like, oh my gosh, let's talk about this. So what do you want the conversation in the car to be?
Well, so there's a couple things, right? I think that for me, as we said before, like I'm the woo-woo guy, so I love the heart of the show. So I think that like talking about, it could be a time for like, did you see that? Like, this is how things work, and you fall down, you get back up. That's part of the process. That's not the end of the process. That's the part of it. But I think what's also my favorite part is, your parents are people. Bob wrote this thing because he found his parents' yearbook in his basement and was like, I wonder what they were like, because they had the same, or they had like fears and beliefs and wants and desires, and you just see them as mom and dad, or you're the mom and dad and you see it about your kids, or you see it about your parents. We're all parents. I mean, we all have parents. Everyone has a parent. So like, might be a good in to be able to, start knowing more about who your parents or who people really are.
You know what? That's so amazing. And yeah, that's the origin story of how Bob Gale kind of figured out how to go into it. And I will share this with you, David. I have Bob Gale's dad's yearbook.
What?
I have it. I bought it from a collector recently. I have the yearbook that started the whole thing, right? I know. It's crazy. I can't believe I have it myself. I just got it like a week ago. I'm so excited.
That's amazing.
It was like it was supposed to happen somewhere in the space-time continuum that I get it right before the musical here in Houston. It just seems right. It feels right, Dave.
Did you go back in time and send it to yourself to happen exactly this time?
I already told you that the DeLorean factory is here in Houston, right? I'm telling you. Things are happening. You know what? And look, I've loved this movie and I've seen the musical, love the musical. I know everybody else is going to enjoy it when they come out and see you in Houston or wherever you check out the musical on the road. David, man, last question for you. What number, either your own or someone else's, do you look forward to the most at the show?
Oh, I'm tired. I don't want to be a broken record and say Dreamers again, but I really do like when because it's all like power, 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 Dreamers. And I get to just pause everybody for a minute. I think the audience is sort of like, oh. So I love that. But also like, I'm not going to throw It Works out of the bin. I get to come out. I come in and the DeLorean's there and I open the car door and the audience is like, ah! And then the dancing girls come out with me. So, all right, I'm going to pick It Works today because I want to be the car.
It Works is great. It's Only a Matter of Time is great. Obviously, the classics that are from the film are all great. And David, man,
I also love Put Your Mind to It.
Put Your Mind to It.
Marty sings with his dad. Great song.
Great song. Everyone can check this out. Again, Theater Under the Stars. Make sure you get your tickets. David, man, I really appreciate the time and the conversation.
Hey, I appreciate you. You know more than I do for sure. So thank you for not asking me questions that I don't know something about. I appreciate it. When are you coming?
I'm going to be there opening night.
Awesome.
I'm going to be there opening night, David. I appreciate it, man. And thank you. Thank you again.